We're playing a new game this week, and I know that can be scary if you only know Elden Ring, so I'm gonna simplify Hades for you. You play as Zagreus, he's in the Greek underworld, and he wants out so he can fight his dad, Hades. It's a roguelike where you get empowered by a bunch of gods. Some of those buffs make your dodge do damage. Not a lot of damage, but enough that I can keep things simple for everyone who's new, and skip out on talking about attacking, specials, and magic. We're only gonna dash. I think you can keep up with that. If you want to watch me play other games, follow me on Twitch. We're gonna mix it up just about once a month. To decide what other game I play, you should join the Patreon. I put up polls so you can decide. And finally, make sure you subscribe. Subscribing on a video helps push it to other people, and I'll be real, I'm kind of nervous about trying something new. So, help this video do well. Now, let's get started in the roguelike.
Does anyone ever win at this game?
You don't win. You just do a little better each time.
To avoid any messy accidental button presses, I open up the game before we start, and wow, you can literally just turn off all the other controls. Should make dashing pretty easy. Now, I remembered the game giving you a power-up from Athena before the first enemy, but I was wrong. Apparently, there's an enemy in front of her. On future runs, you start with a power-up from someone or something, more on something later, so we'll just die, head into the hub world where we can pet the dog. Actually, petting the dog isn't dodging, so we'll skip that every time.
Are you a sicko?
This is also where we're gonna level up later. If you see I have more health or something, that's where we did it. Like I said earlier, now the runs will start with a boon, and it's not here. Oh no. Okay, I guess we'll probably have to put the sword back on and clear the first room. Awkward that we technically lost right away until this big dude hits the column. The environments in Hades are destructible, including being destroyed by enemies. So if we can get him to smack the column, it will drop random debris that might just kill him. Not the first time. Back at it for run 3, there are 4 columns in the room, and this one just doesn't work. Obviously, it's from the Godskin Duo boss room. Am I right, Elden Ring gamers? But we kill him so we can move on to another wave of dudes. This time there's 2, and yeah, they really can't break this column. Honestly, I kind of wish this didn't work so we could just attack for this one fight and then start the run. Like how Nuzlockes don't technically start till you get Pokeballs, but no, we can do it, so I bash my head into a wall, or I guess I politely ask these beefcakes to bash their heads into a wall over and over again until the wall breaks, or the game does, because our save data got corrupted. So does that make this run 1? Does that mean this is run 2? Does that mean when the game fixes itself, we're back on run 10? Yeah, I didn't do anything. The game just kind of fixed itself. Let's do 21 runs real quick. Surely one of them we can space these dudes properly and get lucky enough that the falling rocks kill them.
No way. Not this time. Not this time. No, not this time. It's totally made up. Pure fiction.
On run 22, we finally get everything spaced right, and we can take out the first boy with a column, then the second wave with more columns. But what if there was a third wave? Sorry everyone, the game is actually impossible to do with just the dash. Maybe if that column worked, which it does when we hit it, but trust me, I spent a full hour doing this, and none of those beefcakes ever made it work. We finally make it out of the first room and talk to our cousin Athena, who gives us one of 3 options to choose from for our first buff. None of them are a dash. Oh well, guess I'll just die.
Remember the 5 D's of dodgeball. Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
On run 23, we get our first dodge boost from Zeus, the lightning dash. It puts a bit of lightning behind us after we dodge, and it's pretty bad. Boons have a rarity and a level. All start at level 1, but can be a random rarity from standard, rare, epic, or heroic. We have the standard, so it's kind of ass. Though later we'll discover Zeus is always kind of ass. It only goes in tier 3 because there are some that are worse. Just because Zeus gave us a dash, it doesn't mean we can't use boons from other gods. Some are still useful. A few chambers in, Athena gives us bronze skin, which reduces the damage we take from attacks. Pretty standard, pretty great. Then Artemis gives us pressure points, which gives every bit of damage we do a small chance to be critical. It works better with other dashes later. We didn't make it far on the first run, so yeah, pretty standard Hades playthrough. Run 24 goes worst because we get that special something I was talking about earlier, the hammer. Daedalus doesn't even show up to help us. We just find his hammer that can buff our weapon, and we can't use it. Every time the first buff you get get is a hammer, you can't reset to get rid of it until you go in and die. Pretty sure the hammer is gonna kill us more than any enemy. Hades is not our main nemesis here, the hammer is. Run 24, pretty funny.
Hey, Patrick.
What?
I thought of something funnier than 24.
Let me hear it.
25.
We start with the blade dash from Ares, and this thing is pretty good. It makes buzzsaws behind us that do constant chip damage. There's even a palm of power right away, which lets us level up this thing and boost our damage of each hit. Since all of those hits stack up, that's some big damage. The first mini boss we run into is the Bombo Boys. Hey, we're bombing here. They kind of hop around and drop bombs. It makes it a little annoying. That gives us the revenge boon from Zeus. Most gods have revenge boons that deal damage when you take damage. There's also a secret boon you can get if you work with Ares and Zeus to make those pop automatically, and it is huge if we get it. But we don't get it. We just get Aphrodite, the goddess of love, who gives us the different league boon, which means less damage from enemies we're close to. And we're gonna be pretty close to the first boss of the run, most common boss of Tartarus, Meg. With that whip, you know she's a top tier boss, a top tier boss. All you do is drop blades next to her and run away. When you get her to around a third of her health, she chooses one of 2 moves to add to her kit. We get the worst one, a spray of tiny lasers that chip together to delete our HP. It's basically Elden Stars. Still, we made it to the first boss on our second actual run. Pretty good.
Bulletproof, nothing to lose. Fire away, fire away.
Time to level up in a very important way. We get the first Death Defy. Now we are Zag Kiro, Shadows Die Twice. There's a bit of a downside to having 1 extra life per run. If we were to start the run without a dash, we'd have to wait for the enemies to kill us twice. Athena starts off with no dash.
Go, girl, giving us nothing.
But she's back the next time with the Divine Dash. It's okay, the damage is ass, but it makes us invincible and deflects enemy attacks. It's great against the little balls that a lot of enemies make, and you can even deflect melee attacks to do more damage as well. Unfortunately, the only thing the deflection doesn't work on is the lasers, like lasers from the Crystal Mini-Boss, which is effectively a DPS test that we cannot pass. Remember, our damage is ass. But hey, why doesn't deflection work on lasers? Shouldn't that be like the best thing it deflects? Yeah, this wasn't it. We'll put Athena ahead of Zeus on our tier list. The damage is the same, but she's got the deflection, which is generally pretty good. And now we have enough shadow to buy the second dash. That's like twice as good for damage. Aphrodite for the next run, no dash.
Oh, look, nothing.
Next functional run is Athena again. Maybe we can get a little further with her this time. We get Zeus's revenge, but that's not helpful for damage unless we take damage. The deflection should be great against the Bombo Boys, but like, it just doesn't seem like it is. I don't know why. Shouldn't the big explosions big explode them? Are they like Junkrat where they can just step on their own bombs for fun? Whatever it is, they make us take a Death Defy. As safe as this dash is, the low damage makes us fight stuff longer, and time is the real enemy here. The longer you fight, the more time you have to mess up. The Ares Revenge Boon is great, but it's a little too late. Damage when we get hit means we have to get hit, and when we get hit, we die. Oof.
Jigsaw from Saw forgot to prepare anything and has to just kind of wing it.
We really have some bad luck. Runs 30, 31, 32, and 33 are all busts, so we just have to die. But as random as this game is, there are actually set boons you'll get on each run and rules you can use to figure it out. That's how I knew we would get an epic dash on run 34 from Ares. Google Ares Rule 34 Hades on your work computer to find out more about the game's mechanics. Even better, we get to meet our step grandparent Chaos. Just a bit of damage, but then you can choose a boon with a bane. A lot of the banes are caused by using attacks, specials, or casts, which we don't do anyway. Big brain play. Chaos is always the best. Ares comes again. Part of the Rule 34 is that Ares will come twice. Google Ares comes twice, Rule 34, Hades on your work computer, and we get the revenge boon from him. Bombo Boys can't really handle that spicy slicey. Zeus gives up some vengeance now, so watch out if you hurt me. You're just gonna hurt yourself. Dionysus shows up. We give him a bit of juice. The first juice you give to God gods gives you a talisman that makes it almost guaranteed for them to show up as your first boon, as long as it's not a hammer, giving you a bit of control in what you want to use. He also gives us After Party, which will heal us up to a threshold after every fight. It's really good, but Meg is too good, because this is the 34th run she does more damage. She just really stretches us out and breaks us. Google Meg stretches Zagreus out, rule 34, Hades on your work computer. Zag isn't always going to come out on bottom though. Next time, maybe we'll come out on top.
Now bring it on back, break it down. Now switch. Turn it over and hit it.
Zeus Dash, honestly don't know how it gets worse than this. At least we get some chaos early on and we can't use the special. Oh no! Bombo boys without damage is so dangerous. The AoEs of their bombs are pretty big and our only method of dealing damage is lunging forward sporadically. But afterwards, Poseidon gives us the option to use his dash at a higher rarity. See, the gods of Olympus are petty little bitches who will often try to undermine each other or bribe you to love them more than the others. And Poseidon, he's got that booty of the ocean. This dash rules. It's up there with Ares, and I think it's probably the best dash in the game, kind of. It has the highest raw damage of any of the dashes and shoves non-boss enemies around. When they hit the wall, they take even more damage, so most chambers become free. But against bosses, it's not the best. By not the best, I mean it's just not as good as Ares or Dionysus, since those blades slice and dice big, and we'll talk about Dionysus later. But there is a boon that boosts Poseidon's dash damage against bosses. We just don't have it this time. So even though we can splash Meg around and get her all wet, we still get kind of flattened. Lasted a long time though. That's pretty impressive with Meg. Run 36 and 37 gives us nothing we can use, so whoops, we died. On run 38, we get the blades again. They're great, but not great enough. Even with Aphrodite's Revenge, which inflicts weak, we don't have enough DPS to check the crystal. Or I was just kind of sloppy. Bit of both, maybe. Run 39 is looking okay. We lead with the lightning dash, but it's rare. So instead of bad DPS, it's only pretty bad DPS. Then we get the Athena Revenge effect, but more importantly, we start taking advantage of traps. Lightning doesn't do that much damage, but sharp sticks are pretty great. Obviously, we do some chaos for the content. We can't cast. Oh no, but we're gonna get rarer boons later. Every now and then, Hades will just send a bunch of dudes after us for a minute and we just have to survive. It's free, but it's also free money, because they drop gold. And greed makes us use a Death Defy. Bummer. The crystal DPS check is next, but we actually do okay. Athena's Revenge effect not only does some damage, it also makes us invincible for about half a second. That's pretty long. After that, we stack on the Aphrodite Revenge effect and go to an early shop to ignore Artemis. I like Artemis a lot in my standard playthroughs, but she is bad for the dash only run. Really shouldn't have hit the shop, but I accidentally messed up and couldn't check the chamber I was in with the button setup I had. Meg is a problem. Our biggest damage comes from Revenge, and she does Elden Stars. Shoot. Run 40, I test a theory. I don't get a dash, but then I go back out and put on the Dionysus talisman to reset. We effectively get the same boons, just swap the god. I was hoping it would re-randomize, but it's always going to be the same. I tested this later in the run too. That's just how it works. Or I got insanely unlucky. Run 41, we get the Dionysus dash. It's got decent damage, afflicting the hangover status effect. It's basically this game's version of poison, stacking up to 5 times with 2 damage per tick on the standard rarity, so 10 damage after 5 stacks. Zeus's lightning does 10 damage per strike. This ticks for a few seconds, so yeah, it's way better. Artemis actually gives us something useful, pressure points, for a critical hit chance of about 3%. As it turns out, you can crit with the poison damage, and since it's ticking, that's lots of small hits every half a second, lots of chances for a crit. Pretty cool, actually. Bombo boys make us use a Death Defy, and then we get another Artemis boon to boost our critical damage even higher. Are you sure we're not using Poseidon boons? Because we're crit fishing, baby. There's a Death Defy for sale at the shop, but we can't afford it. We don't even make it to Meg this run. Runs 42, 43, and 44 give us nothing. Run 45 gives us the Aphrodite dash. Remember when I said there were worse options than Zeus? Well, here you go. Now, Aphrodite's dash does 20 damage per hit, which is double Zeus's bolt, but it only works where you land. Zeus's dash has a pretty huge range, and if you double dash, you hit twice. Probably multiple enemies, and you don't have to aim. Aphrodite has to aim, and will almost never get the double dash. Weak is a cool status effect. It lowers enemy damage by 30%, but it just makes the fight longer. Long fights are bad. Chaos lowers our speed for some better boons later, and we buy some yarn to increase the rarity of the next boon too. But we're just too slow and we're bored. Boredom is bad. It makes me play worse. We use a Death Defy before the Crystal DPS check, and yeah, we do not pass the Crystal DPS test. All that pain gave me a headache, but Run 46 makes that headache powerful.
I got a hangover. Whoa, I've been drinking too much.
We lead with the Drunken Dash. It's time to tick, tick, tick away. Even at low rarity, it's pretty good. Chaos isn't our friend today. They're so chaotic. The best thing we can do is take more damage from traps to make some more money. I remembered to give Ares some juice so we can favor him later and get that epic revenge boon. It's going to be big time damage when it procs. Palm of Power is huge for the Drunken Dash since it bumps up the damage from 2 per tick to 3 per tick. That doesn't sound like a lot, but think of it this way. That's a 50% damage buff. Really, really good. The DPS test crystal goes great, since even taking 1 damage from the laser pops the revenge effect from Ares. These lasers deal 1 damage at a time, so it's constant revenge, and it dies faster than we can use a Death Defy. We make that revenge damage even better with Impending Doom from Ares. It takes longer to drop the Doom effect, but hits way harder. It's worth it. At the shop, we get a little treat that makes our enemies drop euros, and we're able to heal up pretty fast, actually. Another Palm of Power pushes us up to 4 damage per tick, or double what we started with. That's really, really nice. I probably shouldn't dive into Chaos since we were right before the Meg fight, but come on. It's for the content. We decide to take more damage to get more health. It's the only benefit we can actually use, and I bought a key before Meg because she's probably going to split us in half. All those palms actually work out to do some great damage though. It's slow but a steady tick, and every time she hits us, the doom damage is fast and heavy. Then she goes for the circles, a much better move for us to punish. We can keep dashing under her and ticking up the poison damage. By the time our Death Defy activates, she's at like 5% health, so just a little more poison will get us there. Vape God beats Meg. There's a fountain that heals us up a bit. We're on to level 2. If you're new to Hades, there's only 4 levels. We're actually doing fine. This area has a ton of lava, and dashing is not always the best idea because you can land in the lava if you're not careful. These rock boys take poison damage in the air. That's pretty funny. Bombo boys are just normal ass enemies here, and they love running away. Hermes comes in and gives us Side Hustle, one of my favorite boons. It just gives you money every time you enter a chamber. Money is good. We find our first mini boss in Asphodel, the power couple of Gorgon and Dwayne Johnson. More like she Gorg on my Johnson till I Dwayne like a rock. Is that anything? That gives us the Ares Dionysus duo boon. Every once in a while, the gods come together to make one super cool boon. Turns out alcoholism pairs great with violence. Makes hangover effects pop every 0.35 seconds rather than every half second, or 11 ticks per effect instead of 8. It's like 37% more damage. Huge. More annoying Bombo boys though, that sucks. Enemies have way more health in Asphodel since you're supposed to be stacking 3 other types of violence buffs. Thanks to Side Hustle though, we have enough money for the Athena boon and a health boost. We get the revenge effect for some more survivability. Time for boss 2, the Bone Hydra. She hide on my bone till I raw? I don't know. We end up getting the first head down to 1/3 of its HP, then 3 more heads show up. Let's cut them down. What's the worst that could happen? Nothing bad happens. It's back to 1 head, and we get it to 2/3 of its health. But then it summons 6 heads? I'm shocked. We're already low on HP, and there's a ton of shit to avoid, so we don't make it. Apparently vaping is not stronger than dragons. Oh, they're a fire type though. We just need more water type energy.
Cool, clear water.
On our way to the next run, we unlock some things to swap talismans between bosses, then get a hammer to die. You saw the title, Run 48's the one that matters. We get the Poseidon Dash, and it's rare. Hell, we get Poseidon right away, again too. I'm hoping we get the boss baby boost. No, we get nothing.
This is worthless.
Palm early to boost the dash instead of that thing we can't use, then Chaos. They say we can't do a special, but we'll get 38 more HP. I guess if I have to not special, it's hard to overstate how valuable it is clearing out the standard chambers so much faster. Hell, even the crystal DPS test is great since we can bully it into walls and bully the smaller crystals into walls as well. Zeus could give us the revenge boon, but we go for the cast. It's because it activates the potential for a Zeus Poseidon duo boon. Or at least I thought it did. Looking it up now, Poseidon's dash does not work for the duo boon. So no point in explaining what it does. Oh wait, no. We have Poseidon's aid from the Worthless room. Maybe this still will work. Zeus and Poseidon do fight to see who the favorite uncle is. We choose Poseidon for the watery slam. That'll deal extra damage to enemies when we push them into walls. We already do so much damage. Now we do even more. Zeus forgives us and gives us lightning reflexes, which makes a lightning bolt when we dodge right before an enemy's attack. It's really forgiving timing and we're dashing almost constantly. The damage isn't huge, but it's still a buff, and it doesn't replace Poseidon's dash. At the shop before Meg, we can buy the rare revenge effect from Athena for a bit of invincibility. Meg time, and remember, Poseidon's dash is probably worse than Dionysus or Ares against bosses, but like, it's twice as good as Zeus or Athena in terms of damage. In phase 2, I get risky and splash around underneath her, having some close calls, but that can be a lot of fun. We even get a little protection from Athena's revenge effect, so we might get hit, but we won't get hit twice. Rare Meg win without using a death defy. Asphodel is funny when we can bully people around just shoving everyone into lava, including the super spreaders. The game was made in 2018, I don't think they would have called them that this year. Hermes gives us quick recovery, letting us heal 30% of the damage we take if we dash right after we take it. We're gonna be dashing, so that should pop every now and then. I get my favorite Asphodel mini boss, Mosh Pit Boat. It's a boat that's tight and enemies spawn in it. Tight space means lots of watery slams. Ares gives us the Curse of Pain, which boosts our attack, but we need it for the duo boon with Zeus that auto pops revenge effects. That'll complicate it here. Zeus and Ares both have revenge effects. You need a revenge effect to get the Zeus and Ares duo boon, but you also need one of their standard buffs to your attack, dash, cast, or special from each of them. And you can have the revenge effect boon from another god, like Athena, that will count as the revenge effect piece of that puzzle. So we have that piece, we don't have a standard buff from Ares, that's why we can't get the Ares revenge effect if we want the Ares revenge effect duo boon. It's confusing and annoying. Like the Bombo Boys, who won't stop running away. After that, we get the Rupture bonus from Poseidon, which does damage to enemies that move after we hit them with the dash. Pretty sick. At the shop, we get the Ares Zeus duo boon, and it is going to be ridiculous. Let's show off why against the Hydra. Every 3 seconds, we are invincible for half a second because of Athena's revenge boon. To put that into perspective, Athena's legendary boon pops invincibility every 20 seconds. For a lot longer, but this pops over 6 times more often, and deflects and does damage. It's so good, and honestly makes the Hydra pretty safe, especially since we're dashing all the time for invincibility frames there as well. Still have to use a death defy, but we're looking okay heading into Elysium for the first time. Elysium? I hardly know him. It's pretty here, but also full of mini Mega Mind Knights. When you kill them, they turn into beans. If you don't kill those beans fast enough, they respawn and you have to fight them again. That will maybe be a problem with other dashes, but splashing is so strong. Hermes pops in to give us a side hustle again, a little late, but I'll take it. If we can make it out of Elysium, that's gonna be really, really great. Zeus gives us his vengeance boon, but we picked him over Athena. When she's mad, she makes the enemies invincible. Sometimes. For like a second. The other ones pelt you with fucking lightning bolts or sniper shots. This is fine. We get Brilliant Riposte, the only required boon for her legendary boon, though I guess you need a boon to get a deflection thing to get Brilliant Riposte, so I guess one of 2 boons. I'm aiming for the legendary boon for more invincibility. We get our first Elysium mini-boss, Asterius, the Bull of Minos. He hits like a truck, and while our auto revenge is popping to deal some serious damage, his damage is more serious. Still a really great run, and our last great run for a while.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
Before the next run, we rescue Orpheus, which is pretty huge. My favorite part of Hades is when Orpheus said it's orphan time and started orphing all over the place. Run 49 is a hammer.
You'll probably want to take your own life. Here, you'd better have this.
After that, we get a Zeus run. Yay! Chaos for the content. We take damage every time we attack, but we'll get better boons later. Oh no, we can't attack. Athena gives us nothing. I was tempted to use her aid since it doesn't actually do direct damage, just deflecting, but that feels against the spirit of the run. We take it, just don't use it. Bombo Boys next, and our damage is so bad that we lose 2 death defies in 1 mini boss fight. In tartar sauce. At least we have a crit chance. When we crit, that's 30 damage instead of 10, otherwise known as 5 less damage than one of Poseidon's unupgraded standard dashes. Yeah, we didn't make it this run. But it can be worse. Run 51 is Aphrodite. She'll never get her own title card because she'll never have a run that makes it out of tartar sauce. Cowabunga for the chaos. We can't cast, but we'll get better boons. Great. We get the near miss lightning from Zeus, so it's kind of like we have 2 shitty dashes together, and it almost makes a decent one. Almost. Still pretty bad against these Bombo Boys, which reward us with some Artemis fun. If you consider getting nothing useful fun. If we can get an enemy into a wall, this is okay since we can spam the dash, but enemies tend to move. So unfair. Sweet Surrender is nice, increasing our damage by 10% against enemies who are afflicted with the weak status effect, so 22 instead of 20. If we were using a constant tick like Dionysus or Ares, 10% would add up fast, but it's gonna add up slowly. Ares gives us Blood Frenzy, which makes us do more damage after we use a Death Defy, and we get the legendary boon from Aphrodite right before Meg. So early for that. Unhealthy Fixation charms enemies, making them attack each other for 4 seconds instead of you. It does actually work on Meg, but so? The small enemies aren't a problem, and they die too fast to actually hurt her. Our damage is so bad, even though sometimes Meg isn't attacking us, we just have to fight her for 5 minutes. Even after a Death Defy for the boost, the damage still sucks. We failed the DPS test with a legendary boon. That's kind of a bummer. Oh look, a hammer, guess I'll die. Run 53, blades. Blades are good, we like blades here. They get boosted by the palm, Chaos gives us some sauce, and we can spin up that crystal, though we use a Death Defy. Poseidon gives us nothing, and Dionysus gives us the positive outlook. Good boon, we have more defense at 40% HP or less. Overall, it's looking fine until Meg. She uses the Elden Stars and that kind of sucks. If we can put a Buzzsaw down before she starts, we get a full cycle off, but it's still pretty rough. We do win, it just hurt a lot. And we don't have enough money to buy the Death Defy, so I guess we'll just buy some Shadow to level up. Hermes gives us an extra dash, that's another Buzzsaw. Charon wastes our money on an Ares boon. Urge to Kill boosts the damage of attacks and specials, which we aren't using. It's useless. But it's new, and you get a reward if you unlock every boon from each god. We end up dying in the Gorgon boss fight. She Gorg on Medusa till I turn to stone. Is that better than the last one? Maybe, probably not. Run 54, we get Artemis. Artemis's dash boon boosts the damage of your dash attack, meaning the attack after you dash. So she's the worst god we can have in F tier because she literally does not work. Run 55, it's another fun trip with Dionysus. We get a pretty fast Palm of Power, so that 2 damage per tick becomes 3 per tick, and 10 damage per max tick becomes 15. Bombo boys are always a slog, but at least they don't take as much health away as the crystal does. Poseidon gives us nothing, but since he's the god of the sea, we'll go fishing for that duo boon. It's a fun one with Dionysus. Activate the trap card to just spray turrets at these dudes, that should clear the room faster. Then we buy some yarn to inspire rarer boons, and it pays off huge after a free fountain chamber. We get the Poseidon Dionysus duo boon, which sets the minimum rarity of future boons to epic.
Now that's what I call pretty epic.
Meg time. She does the circles, we do the Death Defy, but we win, and every boon moving forward in Asphodel will be epic or better. Another palm for the dash right away, so now we're doing double the original damage. Turns out the Ares Revenge boon can activate the duo boon with him and Dionysus, so I don't have to buy anything useless from him, we get the revenge. This is looking pretty solid, but I risk it for the biscuit and piss off Poseidon to get a boon from Dionysus. He gives us premium vintage for 30 more HP when we get juice boxes, and we get a free juice box, so another 30 HP. Poseidon's Rage Wave is pretty easy to get away from as long as you keep an eye on it. It can kind of blend in with the rest of the stuff that's happening. Oh, and we get nothing from him, I guess. None of his duo boons are even useful anymore, so it kind of sucks. And then we meet the worst mini-boss of Asphodel, the Witches. If you need to know why this fight sucks, look at it. The purple balls hurt us. Like, Dafook. So we use a Death Defy, and then we use, well, not a Death Defy. We just die. Run 56, Zeus dash. Ugh. Chaos can help us with some rarer boons eventually. This damage just straight up sucks. Look, we take this guy into the corner and just have to spam, 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 spam. It takes forever. Ares shows up, we get a useless boon, but it could give us the duo boon between Zeus and Ares, which will fix our lack of damage. Bombo boys, miserable. We've done it with Zeus before, we're probably gonna do it with Zeus again, and it'll probably be terrible. A full minute in, they still have armor, but we've used a Death Defy in tartar sauce. But we get Zeus's Vengeance, which for some reason does great damage. Say hi to Sisyphus, I feel like this run isn't gonna be the one, so we take a bunch of Shadow as part of our Sisyphus-ation process. Ares offers us Battle Rage, we can't use it, but it's new, and that makes Zeus mad. So we have to run away from his bolts, while using his bolts behind us to kill stuff. His bolts are better against us, so we use a second Death Defy in tartar sauce. He gives us double strike, so our bolts have a 35% to strike twice in the same place. Pretty effective boost, almost makes it as good as, you know, basic Dionysus. At the shop before Meg, we get Strong Drink, a great boon from Dionysus which will fully heal us up at fountains and boost all of our damage by 3% after we drink at a fountain. Dionysus, in addition to having a pretty good dash dash just has like so many good boons that help us besides the dash. We won't make it to the mountain probably because Meg is in the way and Meg hits hard, we don't. I'm good at avoiding her hits at this point, at least when she does the circles, but yeah, it takes a while. About 3 minutes. Fun! And we live! So we can heal up to full before Asphodel thanks to Dionysus. Yay! We have to do Asphodel with Zeus damage though. Oh no. Nothing all that interesting happens. We dash, we dash, we dash. Bombo boys stall us out. Then it's witching time again. So we're not going to be able to do that. That's going to kill us. It kills us. Next run's a hammer. So, you know, we die.
I was fighting everybody in the pool and trying to splash water in their mouths.
Run 58, Poseidon time. I forgot to give him the juice to make him a regular thing. I'm such a fool. Immediate palm for more power. Then we bully that crystal into the corner for a boon from Athena, who gives us nothing useful because for some reason the duo boon between Athena and Poseidon also doesn't work with his dash. Fudge. It's decent, 10% damage resistance from bosses and you can't be stunned, but not like tragic that we can't get it. It's barely better than bronze skin. Another palm. Love these babies. I'll never take them for granted. I love my own jokes. Then Hades wants us to survive for a minute. Dude, we're working with your brother, the good one. We're fine. Time to bully the hell out of everyone for a full minute and get $61 for our trouble. Oh, and the hammer, baby.
The hammer is my penis.
Athena gives us trap resistance. It's not all that exciting, but it's practical, very fitting for Athena. She's the one who gets you socks for Christmas. They're good socks, you'll use them every day, but it's hard to be like, oh yeah, trap resistance, nice. Meg goes better than she did with Zeus. Poseidon is supposed to be nerfed by being worse against bosses, but if that was the goal, they should have like, I don't know, not made his dash do twice as much base damage as everyone else's. Meg dies, let's fight fires and Asphodel. Some highlights on the way through Hot Volcano. Greater evasion from Hermes. Chaos asks us to stop using specials and promises to make our boons better if we do. Okay. Mosh Pit Boat is always fun, especially as Poseidon's favorite nephew, just shoving everyone into walls. We also get After Party as a reward, so every room we finish will heal us up to 40% of our max HP. God, Dionysus just doesn't miss, like not ever. Athena does. We can't get anything useful, so, Phalanx shot, I guess. It's nothing. Not better than nothing, it's literally nothing. Hydra time, we just keep slamming into it, a lot. There isn't really a strategy here. We just sort of hit stuff really hard and really fast. On to Elysium. Poseidon is great here, mostly because he can kill the beans faster than they respawn. It's actually going to be a problem for some gods later. Ares gives us the Vengeance, and we get quick recovery from Hermes, letting us heal after a rapid dodge. Mixing that with After Party, we're going to be pretty hard to kill. I will say, the dash isn't great against butterflies. They can't be pushed, but we're still getting great stuff, like Positive Outlook from Dionysus to take less damage at 40% HP or less. Ares is pretty easy to dodge, and he's impressed enough to boost our doom damage with Impending Doom. Mini boss is the butterflies. Hey, I just said we're not great at them. We're fast enough and basically one-shot the beans as they spawn in though, so it's pretty free. This fight spawns in beans that try and evolve into full Megamind soldiers. If you can squash the beans before they do that, it's easier. Dionysus gives us his aid. We couldn't get anything useful. And this is new. I like new. Shield dudes are kind of annoying, but it's fun that all the Megamind soldiers prepare you for an aspect of Theseus, who will fight after buying a duo boon from Dio and Poseidon. Now it's time for the sus for the first time. I just start blasting away with the water. Asterius is also here, and it's best to focus him first, since his phase 2 is less noticeable. Revenge damage is pretty awesome, but it comes at the cost of taking hits, so we use a Death Defy before crushing the bull. In phase 2, the sus gets boons from God like we do. He's just like me for real. Except not really, because he's using Artemis boons and we kind of can't. I miss the crits. I like crits. His crits make me miss the crits even more because they hit us really hard. We do have to use another Death Defy, but we get the win and head into the final level of the game. This level works a little differently than the previous levels. Rather than getting a reward after every room, you get a reward after every path. Eventually, we want to find a sack of meat to feed to Cerberus so we don't have to kill him. Just so you know, I've killed a ton of animals in this game already. Who cares that this is a dog? Anyway, the rooms on the paths are way smaller, and they have less enemies until the last room. There, you get a mini-boss, like this big rat. Oh, it's fine if I kill a rat, but I'm a bad person if I kill a dog?
Dogs are to Steven what rats are to me.
From here, we get an Athena boon. Nothing good. Poseidon makes these small rooms an absolute joke. We just demolish through everything. We buy strong drink from Dionysus just in time so that when we get to that last room, we get a 5% damage damage boost. I'd like to buy a Death Defy, but we don't have any money. At least we get the fountain. And some cash. Use the cash for a Centaur Heart, and it's time to fight the final boss with 285 HP. Now, the other bosses can do a crazy amount of damage, but Hades? Nuts. Yeah, he really does hit hard though. Also, doesn't really take a lot of damage. At this point, we should ideally have a bunch of forms of damage that stack together, but we kind of only have our dash. And I guess our revenge. Sometimes he goes invisible, sometimes he throws out exploding skulls that blow up if you don't smack them. If they hit you, you have boiling blood and take more damage from Hades. It's pretty nasty. We actually get really close on our first try, you know, as long as there isn't like a second phase or something like Millennia where he just heals up after you beat him down the first time. Really proud of this, and just getting here unlocks a bunch of new stuff you'll get to see in the next run. Some good, some bad. Well, no, some bad, some worse.
Hello? Pizza delivery for, icy wiener? Oh, crud.
Run 59. Your first run after fighting Hades the first time, you automatically get Demeter to show up, goddess of seasons. She's favoring winter during the course of this game, and has a unique status effect called Frostbite, which slows enemies down. It's more like Dark Souls 3 Frostbite than Elden Ring Frostbite. Not bad, but how it fires sucks. Instead of going behind you, like most dashes, the frost shoots in front of you, making it a gun. But when you dash again, the first shot stops shooting. Basically, it's a gun you have to sprint 5 feet forward to shoot, only fires directly in front of you, and if you fire a second shot, the second shot goes away. All that together, the damage is also bad. Oh, also, new enemy type, the Finger Creepers came out of Elden Ring, and they're trying to get handsy with us. Grandma gets some juice, even though she gives us nothing. DPS test Crystal. We start at full health with 2 Death Defies. 3 full minutes later, we're down a Death Defy and we win. Demeter gives us nothing again. At least Sisyphus is here so we can get some darkness to level up after this run. No way in hell this is the one we win. Look at the timestamp on the video. We're very far away. Before Meg, we buy Trap Defense from Athena and Hyper Sprint from Hermes. But wait, this isn't Meg, it's Electo. New boss. At least we get to learn her moveset slowly since she will always be at maximum Frostbite. Total slowdown is 40%, with 4% per stack and 10 max stacks. Electo has a bonus mechanic, Rage, where the longer the fight goes on, the more likely she is to stop being nice and start going apeshit. It's maximum overdrive. Hey, wait, we won? Oh, okay. Asphodel. Surely our cool dash will cool this down. The Bombo boys run away, as they love to do. We upgrade the ice, but it's still, terrible. At least we finally die. Maybe next time we won't.
I promise I will never die.
It's Athena's turn, which might not kill things fast, but at least we'll be safe. And hey, we can get our damage turned up with a little bit of that near-miss lightning from Zeus, combining both of our B-tier dashes to create something still worse than the A-tier Dionysus. New mini-boss alert, it's the Witch. She's shooting a bunch of lasers, which our dash can deflect. Situationally, Athena is an A or S-tier dash, but sometimes she's basically a D-tier. F-tier Artemis shows up to give us pressure points and 3% crit chance. Remember, this tier list is specifically for the dash only run. I like Artemis. I don't think there are bad gods, really. Each one is kind of better at different things. I mean, Dionysus is the best, but whatever. Zeus and his daughter are fighting. I don't know why I picked Athena, maybe just to give Zeus a headache. Y'all like that Greek mythology joke? Boom. She gave us the rippy dippy dip dip to deal more damage with deflected attacks. Thunderboy chases us around with a lightning until he gets sleepy and gives us the jolted status effect on our lightning. Makes enemies take lightning damage when they attack after we've lightninged them. Before the Fury boss, we buy Dying Lament from Aphrodite, so enemies will explode into weak. Very cool. Tisiphone is our Fury this time. She has super Elden Stars in all of her phases. Yikes. But we have Deflect and bonus deflection damage. So scratch that, yikes. This is an oh yeah moment. Also, she has the power to make the room smaller. Glad I'm not a D&D content creator who would have to translate that into a tabletop game. It's actually pretty easy. Elden Stars makes this one of those situations where Athena is an S tier. Asphodel time, Hermes gives us another dash and a Palm of Power to boost our crit chances with pressure points. Remember how the Triple Witches sucked with other boons? This is another Athena S tier situation. Maybe she honestly just deserves to be S tier. I can't see any time she would be bad, foreshadowing. Aphrodite gives us super health buff, Life Affirmation, and then we buy Different League at the shop before the Hydra to take 10% less damage from enemies who are close. The Hydra is slow. Okay, this is where Athena struggles. Maybe some wisdom or battle strategy should have given you some higher DPS. I get that the best offense is a good defense, but goddamn girl, hit something. The DPS really becomes a problem in Elysium. Remember how I kept saying some of these dashes couldn't kill the beans before they respawn? This is one of them. Hey, it's a situation where this dash is basically F tier, or at least the very lowest level of D tier. To be fair, I guess we haven't seen Aphrodite or Demeter in Elysium, and spoiler alert, we won't later. They're bad. First chamber takes 4 full minutes. Hermes gives us another dash, and we get to fight witches. S tier situation. Then the Megamind Knights show up. D tier situation. I'm getting whiplash. Artemis gives us nothing, and we have to fight Asterius without damage. Thankfully, we trained for this in the first hour of the game. Just bait him into the columns, and since Elysium has high tax property values, the pillars get repaired automatically, and we can do it again. Victory achieved. And Athena gives us Deathless Stand, aka another Death Defy. Let's go. Now we have to choose between the sisters, Aphrodite and Athena. We choose Athena for some reason. Never choose Athena for these, by the way. And get bronze skin for less damage. When Aphrodite chases you around with her heart, she's trying to stun you. Oh, and it doesn't stop until you kill the Megamind Knights, which we can't do. Quickly, at least. Eventually, we line them up on traps to get it done. Aphrodite gives us nothing. Thanks. Stream 3 starts with the fight against the Sus and the Minotaur, but it's a DPS check that we fail. Again, it's great if you don't let the other team score Athena, but eventually, you gotta hit some buckets if you want to win. I need a drink after that.
Wonderful vices, welcome to the cult of Dionysus.
Run 61, it's Dionysus time. Let's just get everyone so drunk they let us walk out of hell. Aphrodite gives us a few options that are bad. Crust Shot at least works towards the duo boon, even though we need a way to make stuff weak for the duo boon to work. Bombo boys be bombo, bimbo bombo, they just bombo, 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 whoa, 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 whoa. Athena gives us some trap resistance before it's time to survive. We'll get more money if we kill, so let's kill a few baddies. Sisyphus shows up and I go for the coins. Coins let you buy stuff in the current run. Shadow lets you invest after the run, so if you want to make it a real run, you gotta go for the coins. It's real this time. This is the run. Don't look at the run time. Palm of Power, better hangover. Let's go. Before the Fury fight, we get side hustle to make some more money as we go through the game, and some treasure from Poseidon. Electo decided to show up, and we're trading a lot. I try to get her in the corner and make that hangover hit, but it's just not really working. Ends up being a 2 Death Defy situation before we can even get out of tartar sauce. Oh hey, remember all that money we got? We can buy a Death Defy after we beat Electo. Balances out. As long as, losing 1 Death Defy is balanced to you. Asphodel time. First boon comes from Hermes. It's another dash, which kinda doesn't work that well for Dionysus. We can't stack more hangover without his legendary boon, which requires us to cast, and we can't cast, so we can never actually stack more. It's fine, but nothing. So, sort of like Athena, she gives us nothing. Neat. Mosh Pit Boat is pretty fun with the drunk dash, but when Poseidon shows up, we just give him some juice and get some treasure. I no longer believe this is the run. Before the Hydra, Eurydice and another Palm are able to get our dash up to 6 damage per tick, which caps out at 30 damage with 5 max ticks. Not bad. But the Hydra is making the floor lava, and our movement is very twitchy. It's not going to be great. We're basically doing a survival challenge with butter on our feet and knives on the floor. Doesn't really work, we die. But now we have Poseidon's talisman, so now we can go surfing.
Here comes a big wave!
Just kidding, next run is a hammer! Time to die! Run 63 though, it's time to Poseidon all over the place. We get another hammer to do absolutely nothing. Little pro tip for you, if you're mashing through Sisyphus's dialogue and accidentally buy something you don't want, you can just quit out, come back and get that money baby, some cash. Bombo boys get bopped into the corners, we take Zeus's lightning strike to potentially get that duo boon. Then Ares, we take his cast for a duo possibility with Zeus. The duo boon between Ares and Poseidon is useless. It's for your cast, so, we literally can't use it. Tisiphone time, and we haven't actually grabbed all that much stuff we can use. Sure, the raw damage is fine, but she is just way harder if you're not using the Athena dash because all those lasers are gonna hit you. It's fine, we can buy a Death Defy anyway, no problem. Hermes gives us the hyper sprint, so after we dash, we're faster, take reduced damage, and can't be stunned. Since we're dashing all the time, that's pretty nice. Honestly, should have chosen the Eurydice room instead of the Zeus room, but I want that duo boon so bad, it'll work so good, if we ever get it. Instead, it's lightning reflexes, which is kind of like the duo boon. It's more damage when we dash away. Black metal from Ares is useless since it's only going to buff our cast that we're not using. Big bummer. It would be good on the dashes, it makes the blade beams bigger. And we're already back at the Hydra. That extra Zeus damage is helpful, but it's really just Poseidon. His damage is so much better than everyone else's, and we still haven't gotten the bonus boss damage. Hydra dead. No Death Defy necessary. Elysium starts with a Chaos Gate, but even they give us nothing. Shoot. Still, it's much better when we're dashing all around and we can kill the beans before they reset. Between Zeus and Ares, I go for Zeus. Ares is a little easier to dodge IMHO. Zeus gives us the first revenge boon, so we should be able to get that duo boon eventually. Little mini boss against Asterius, and we can see that the damage is beginning to fall off. Something like Rupture or a boss damage boost would go pretty far towards fixing that if we get it. Instead, we get After Party at the epic rarity, which means we always go to 50% HP finishing a room. Pretty cool. Have to use the Death Defy to get the hammer, which is useless, but then Patroclus shows up, and this dude is a straight up hero. Well, not a straight up hero. He's a hero, at least. And it restores our Death Defies, never punished. And hey, we get the Rupture boost with standard rarity, so it's not great. I decide to save some money for now, just grab that Ares boon for free before the boss fight. He gives us nothing. Take the aid because, I don't know, it's new. We're at full health, and comparing the damage to the bull that we did earlier, it's pretty clear the Rupture is helping out a lot. The revenge effects are also nice, and the bull just has less health because we bonked him earlier. Only the sus now, and I straight up hate this dude's shield. Then he summons Demeter, who is probably the worst god for him to summon. She has the standard big explosions, but also expanding vape clouds. All of them slow you down, and we don't have a ranged attack. So if the sus starts standing in the cloud, we can't hit him without dashing into it. It makes us use a Death Defy, but we still pull out the win. I messed up though, forgot to put the dog collar on for more HP. We're going in with the Ares talisman and still don't get any Ares boons as an option. Neat. All these snake stones love floating over gaps, which we can't hit them with because we don't have a ranged option. First path we take is for the money, baby, and then we go to Hermes, who gives us the huge damage boost from the speed damage boost. Speed damage boost with that sturdy dodge translates to around a 30% boost. It's huge. Oh, and it's a fountain, so I guess like we can go fight Hades. I do buy the last Zeus boon I can and get the jolted effect. I was hoping for the duo boon from either Ares or Poseidon, but this is fine. And nothing else could be useful. So let's just go for it. Ruptured and jolted effects really help deal damage to Hades. You can honestly kind of just ignore the skulls that get shot out since, you know, when they explode, just dodge them. We're dodging anyway. Kill them if you can, but we don't have to. We beat Hades! There we go! We did. Why is his health coming back? Oh no! Phase 2 time. We still have a Death Defy. Doesn't pop until we're halfway through the second health bar, and then he does the Omega Laser. It looks scary, but you can actually avoid it by hugging your dad. Most of the time. Didn't work this time, and we died before getting so close. But good news, we finally have enough Shadow to buy the last Death Defy and enough keys to buy the reroll ability for more choices from our boons. Oh wait, we need 30 more keys. Shoot. Okay, let's carve it up next time.
I swear to God, I will dice you into a million little pieces and put those pieces in a box.
Just kidding, it's another hammer. Bummer, time to die. But on run 65, it's Ares time. And I like my dashes like I like my steaks. Bloody and rare. Demeter gives us nothing useful, but she does actually have good stuff. Eventually, somewhere in there. None that we'll ever see in this video, actually. I just finished writing the script and I'm recording this. Yeah, she never gives us anything good. Palm boosts up the blades a bit more, and we start the military-industrial complex by having Sisyphus give us some money. There's something to be said about a perpetual war machine being funded by the poster child for endless suffering, but we're moving on. Aphrodite gives us different league, less damage from close enemies, and we rock an infernal trove. It's a little challenge to murder as many things as you can, as fast as you can, and we end up making $74. Decent. Didn't realize it wasn't time to shop yet, but we get bronze skin from Athena and a centaur heart. It's turning into a bit of a tanky build. Then more Aphrodite and Athena. I chose Aphrodite to get Dying Lament, making enemies explode with weak and make other enemies weaker. Athena is easy to avoid when she's mad at you. She just kind of stalls, then she gives us the revenge boon, which means occasional invulnerability after we take damage. One last shot before the Fury, we get Aphrodite's revenge effect, so if we get hit, everyone who hits us is weaker. It's Meg. She's the easiest, and gives us the easiest attack with the circles because she loves me. The fight is almost free. We heal back up to full at the fountain and throw on the Zeus talisman to try and fish for the auto revenge. Maybe. I'm praying for it. As we run through Asphodel, let's answer a common question: why didn't I get the fists? The fists have a small auto dodge chance, but they also require around 15 total keys to unlock. And I wanted to get the rest of the mirror upgrades, which also cost keys first. So that's it. That's the answer to the big mystery. From Zeus, we get the electric shot. I'd love to have taken Heaven's Vengeance, but we need a standard Zeus boon for the Ares Zeus duo boon, and I'm fishing for it. Our heist doesn't go great. We only get 36 bucks, and then we hit the mosh pit boat. Imagine being on a tiny boat and someone just starts throwing around a bunch of buzzsaws. It's pretty cool. Aphrodite rewards us with the Centaur Heart bonus. Takes us a while to actually get one, but when we do, that's nice. At the shop before the Hydra, Demeter gives us nothing, as she is wont to do, and the other option is a hammer, so I guess we get to save some money. This version of the Hydra is spitting out ads, just like this ad for today's sponsor. This video doesn't have a sponsor. Join the Patreon, maybe? It's really nice. It's where we get to keep most of the money. Anyway, the extra enemies make us use a Death Defy, but that's fine. It's Asphodel. Let's hope Elysium goes well. It might seem weird that we put on the Demeter horn, but her revenge effect is really good, and the talismans only work the first time. Remember how we left the Ares talisman on between levels last time and got no Ares in the end? Yeah, that's why that happened. First, we get Hermes though. He gives us 2 more dashes for 2 more saws. Demeter basically gives us nothing, but the healing effect boost, which is fine, I guess. We'll now heal 4 HP per room instead of 3, and any gyros we eat heal us more. I guess she makes us more flavorful gyros. Blades really show their strength while the chariots chase us. They have to drive through a bunch of nails, and that hurts their tires. We have the choice between Aphrodite and a Centaur Heart, but since we have the Centaur Heart boost from Aphrodite, we ignore Aphrodite for a Centaur Heart, if that makes sense. And we finally meet Thanatos. He's our boyfriend, who's gonna kill everyone for us. If we kill more people than he does, he gives us a second heart, but we do not. So just the one heart. New tech learned against Asterius: by dashing over and over again into a wall, we make 4 blades that the bull just crashes into. We're rewarded with black metal for bigger blades. Remember, we got that for the cast last time, but couldn't use the cast because it's a cast. Death Defy pops, and we can't buy one from the shop, but there's at least a Centaur Heart for a silly amount of health. Then we get the legendary Ares boon, which adds 2 damage per tick, ramping up on our blades. It's like the winged sword insignia from Elden Ring. DPS test against the bull and the sus. Yeah, it's a lot better. Asterius goes down, and the sus calls on Dionysus. It's double the sus. Double sus is double trouble because Dio is bursting big bubbles. We make it out and slurp some juice. I even remember to put on the doggy collar for more HP. Rats are a bit of an issue with the blades, since we have to step on their poison to set down the spikes. And of course, the snake stones hover over the gaps we can't reach. Zeus gives us the epic vengeance, but we still don't have that duo boon. I found a fountain with the Centaur Heart, and we now have 404 HP. Error, death not found. Get it? Like a computer? For some reason, I bought the Aphrodite boon instead of the Athena or Demeter boon. Don't know why. That was a bad idea. We got nothing. Athena could have given us another Death Defy. Time for Hades. He throws off his cape like the Grave Warden duelists. God, I love those dudes. Thought I wouldn't talk about them because we're not playing Elden Ring this week? Nope, I love them too much. Bad start. We get hit with the boiling blood a lot. Putting him in a corner can do a lot of great damage, but it also means we're in the corner with him. Doesn't really work. But you know what might work next time? Cash.
Hello, I like money.
What inspired you to build a second Krusty Krab right next door to the original?
Money.
Execute run 66. It's real splishy splashy hours. Real bath heads in the chat. Can I get a suds in the comments? Chaos shows up in the first room and they hand out bombs to everyone for the next 3 rooms, but after that we get 65% more money from all sources. Athena gives us nothing, but then we can make another Chaos Gate. This time they cut our dash range, but we're gonna get more HP when we're done. I don't really need a lot of range to bully the crystal around. Dionysus gives us After Party with a 50% HP minimum. Now, here's the question. Does that money bonus from Chaos work with Sisyphus? Hell yeah, it does. We get $173 for doing nothing. Ares gives us nothing, and then I fudged up and forgot to get money instead of getting the pomegranate. The money could buy a pomegranate and have change left over. At least we can level up the dash. Athena gives us bronze skin, and we can level it up to a nice level of resistance. Tisiphone is a bit of a problem. We don't have the Athena boost, so she's just going to be spamming those lasers. Have to use a death-defying tartar sauce, but it's fine. We'll have plenty of money to buy another one. I sold the Ares special boost so we can buy some yarn, but just get a hammer rune anyway. Followed by Eurydice though, so we're about to get some major rarity on these next boons. presumably. Thanatos is back and we're more competitive this time. Hell, we're actually pretty good and can bully enemies out of his death circle. That means we get the pomegranate and a centaur heart. Huge W. Zeus is on the mosh pit boat after we push everyone around and have to get the flourish if I want to get a duo boon between him and Poseidon. Maybe we'll eventually get it. We don't. At the Infernal Trove, 62 money becomes 102 money, which is more money than you'd get from a chamber that solely focuses on money. Now, what if we had a little more money? Poseidon gives us a 55% money boost to reward chambers specifically. Dionysus is mad about how much money we're making, and shoot, he is hard to avoid. Not impossible though. He gives us the positive outlook for more defense. I forgot how many chambers we had, so I can't spend money and just get a free heart. Hydra time. We don't really have anything specifically to help us with this fight. Just a lot of damage. Try to keep the heads together. When there's multiple heads that kind of overlap, we can be a bit more efficient and hit two at the same time. Less time we have to fight, less time we have to die. Swap the doggy collar on for Elysium. There isn't really a specific god I want boons from that we haven't used the talisman for already. First up, go to the health chamber. More health means more time with positive outlook. Another health room, but this one has a chaos gate. Unfortunately, they don't give us anything good this time. Maybe the backshot damage buff. It actually doesn't work on dashes for some reason. It makes every room a mystery though. Lucky draw, we get Asterius and his AI kind of breaks against the wall for a second. That's funny. Other than that, it's kind of just a slog. At least he'll be weaker later. Dionysus gives us strong drink, which means an 8% damage boost minimum before we fight Hades, since it's 4% every fountain and there are 2 fountains before Hades. I'll take that for sure. And then Patrocles resets our death defy. I've never been punished in my entire life. At the shop, we buy Dionysus's cast to fish for the duo boon and bronze skin from Athena. It's the only boon that will do anything. Against the sus and the bull, we do pretty poorly. It took 2 full minutes to take down the bull, and the bull was already weaker. And then we take a death defy before the sus summons Demeter. That shield to deflect sound is gonna haunt my nightmares. He's finally dead, but we're down 2 death defies, and we still have the hardest boss in the game left. Not Hades. After a trap protection from Athena while hoping to get a death defy, we get to fight the tiny vermin. Peak boss design. It's a rat that teleports and summons more rats. He can also be pushed, so it actually works decently for this build. Also, normally that's 200 coins, but it's 440. Oh wait, sorry, 618! Big money! We get the revenge from Athena, we upgrade our damage resistance, we upgrade the Athena revenge, and we still have 274 coins left over. Find the upgrade for our health with the fountain, then going down the Ares path anyway. I'm hoping we find a shop that sells a death defy. We get some yarn, I guess that's cool, and the blood frenzy ability to do more damage after we use a death defy. Sell some useless stuff, then fight the big satyr. It's like a satyr, but bigger. We upgrade positive outlook. With our massive health, we're pretty set. Finally, we get a 10% auto dodge chance from Hermes and a shop to buy a death defy, so now we have 2. And then gamers, I fucked up. The anvil gives you 2 random weapon upgrades and trades in one you already have. I thought the sword had an upgrade that boosts your movement speed, but nope, that's just the basic boost the sword already has. There is, however, a buff to the sword that heals you 2 HP every time you land an attack, with the penalty of taking away 60% of your max health. So our 328 max health is now 131. Fun fact, that used to be the threshold for our bonus defense from positive outlook. Now it's the max health, and the extra defense won't work until we're below 52 HP. Death Defy also heals you up to 50% of your HP when you die, which used to be 164. Since we had 2 death defies, that's 328 HP. 2 pieces of a half make a whole. Hey, who could have guessed? With this amount of HP, we have less than half that healing. Cool. Also, Hades summons the Finger Creepers, which are pretty much the worst ad he can summon. We use our first death defy when Hades is at half HP, but that means we get more damage. It's a noticeable improvement. Hey, if we use another death defy, that damage will stack, right? No, it doesn't. It only works once per encounter. Shoot. And then we just die. Let's take a break from Poseidon for someone who does a little bit better against bosses, maybe. Hammer. Die. Run 68 is with Ares, it's standard rarity, but a Palm of Power is a 60% damage boost. Chaos asks us not to attack, and yes, I think I can handle that. Here's a crystal gem, we'll really make it pay, and if you think we can't, our blades will find a way. That's why the Dionysus gives us After Party. And Ares and Dionysus are fighting. Should have chosen Dionysus first, but it's fine. Ares gives us nothing, and Dionysus gives us Strong Drink, which we will use in a very funny way in a second. We level up the dash again, get money from from Sisyphus because this is the run! Maybe. Aphrodite gives us the revenge boon, and it's time to fight Alecto. Since I know I'm going to heal up to full from the fountain, and Alecto will just stand still if she's hitting you, we just spam blades in the corner and trade. As long as we don't use a Death Defy, there is no downside to this. I have to dodge a little bit more at the end, but that's fine. We make it out of tartar sauce unscathed. Start Asphodel with a bit of chaos, more foes to fight, more health when we're done. Get a bit of refreshing nectar from Eurydice, and the big side hustle from Hermes. That means 15 coins every chamber, and we have 2 full levels left. The Infernal Trove doesn't go great. We make 10 coins. Oof. But it's time for the mosh pit boat, baby. I love moshing out on a boat. And we're rewarded with the epic vengeance boon from Zeus. Maybe we'll get the duo boon. We don't. Thanatos again, we lose. Maybe Ares' damage isn't actually all that great. Kind of a bummer. At least it's free. Dionysus gives us nothing, but maybe we'll fish for that duo boon. We don't get it. Different league from Aphrodite at the shop, and it's Hydra time again. We got really close to a Death Defy here. So close that we used a Death Defy, and that sucks. At least the fountain heals us all the way back up and gives us a little bit of a boost for Elysium. Can't afford the Death Defy, and I don't want to sell stuff, so we'll Cowabunga into the chaos. Oh no, nothing we can use, and now we're getting blind rewards. At the shop, we scoop up Positive Outlook. You know what that means, right? We've used it a lot. Bull Mini Boss, just put him in the wall and dash like we did with Alecto. Don't spend a Death Defy, so it doesn't matter. Bronze Skin, Dodge Chance. Then a Fountain, which is pretty sick. It heals us up and gives us extra damage, in addition to the extra damage we were guaranteed to get from the fountains anyway. Upgrading the Vengeance and spend some money on the near miss Zeus Lightning for more lightning. That'll put our damage at a much better place when we go into the corner and speed run the Sus and Minotaur. Look at that. That just feels nice. We already have the money for Dying Lament to make the enemies explode when we crush them. Then get that money, baby. Big rat boss. It's like a rat, but bigger. So that means poison, which is pretty terrible. Don't use a Death Defy though, so it's fine. Aphrodite gives us nothing. Hot stuff. Buy a lightning attack boost from Zeus. Maybe we can get a duo boon. We don't. Stop fishing for duo boons. It's not gonna happen. At the fountain, Ares gives us black metal for bigger blades. And I decide we're going down the health path anyway. I'm fishing for a Death Defy. They're a big help against Hades. Next path is the palm, and it's tiny vermin. Big rat bad. Tiny rat great. Let's go. Baby tiny vermin forever. We level up that near miss damage and can buy 3 more dashes from Hermes. Ooh, that's a lot of dashes and a lot of slashes. Obviously, we're gonna win. Don't look at the time code. It's time for Hades. I try to get him in a corner, but he's not gonna stay there. Why wouldn't he just hang out in the corner with all these knives? I'm just mashing away. Don't even care that we use a Death Defy. Hopefully, as he activates phase 2, we can do some good damage. Into the corner and spam away. But he's spamming himself with the Omega Laser that we can't punish since our damage is dependent on skating around. So we die, which is bad news, obviously. But next run's looking pretty nice. Pretty nice.
What number are we thinking of? 69, dudes!
Poseidon gives us the epic dash. On run 69, you know we're gonna get wet. Chaos right away, and they know and respect the 69th run because we can't attack, but we get rarer boons. Hell yeah. Lay epic dash now to 70 per hit and one-shots the small crystals. Jeepers. Into the chaos again. I'm gonna take more damage from traps, but get better treasure. Even though I don't need better treasure because this is the last run. Bully the crystal for an Ares boon. He offers us a heroic blade dash, but no. It's Poseidon's turn. You got to go last time, Ares, and you didn't work. And we use a Death Defy, me and tartar sauce before the boss. That's pretty bad. Maybe this isn't the run. Or maybe I just shouldn't jump into every Chaos Gate I see and level Vigor with a Centaur Heart. At the shop, we buy up a Hermes boon for 30% more speed and then fight Meg. Our damage is fine. Not great, but fine. She's sweet enough to go for the circles, and when she's invincible from the phase transition, we just go bully all the other ads. Overall, it takes a little over a minute. Pomegranate, beat up the Bombo boys and get 3 more dashes from Hermes. And so many ding-dang dashes. I don't ever have to stop dashing. Eurydice is here, so we're gonna get rarer boons moving forward. The witches are scary, and it's annoying that they don't take damage from the lava, but they do take damage from these big waves. We just take a lot of magma damage though, since we kinda end up pushing them into lava world. Athena gives us trap defense after all of the lava. Better late than never, I guess. Thanatos shows throws up and we win. It's not even close. So we get cash and a centaur heart. Bless him, he's trying. I'm given the choice between Poseidon or the shop. I decide to save our money and go with free Poseidon. Maybe he'll finally give us the boss damage boost? He doesn't give us the boss damage boost. Womp womp. Womp womp, by the way, is the sound of us slamming our huge ass waves into the Hydra's face over and over again. We got close to using another Death Defy, but actually make it out with 3 HP. Before Elysium, we can buy a Death Defy back. Glad we saved that money. Pomegranate, yeah, I think we're gonna upgrade the dash. This Infernal Trove is risky since we're deep in Elysium, but we still get 63 coins and that's not nothing. I'll spend that to make the enemies drop euros. More games should have the ability to make people give you euros. Oh, and we finally get the Poseidon boon that makes your waves do more damage to bosses. It's time to cook with water. Boiling or braising. Braising brings out better flavor. Then Poseidon and Athena are fighting. Naturally, we choose Poseidon and get the rupture as well. Oh, we are about to shred everything. We're also about to lose a Death Defy to Athena's minions. Whoops. She gives us the bronze skin for more defense. Butterfly boss. Remember, this one has caused problems for the waves before, but will the rupture and boss bonus fix that? Yeah, it definitely does. Then we get the watery blast from Poseidon, which adds a pushback effect on our pushback effect, so we can push enemies while we push enemies. Aphrodite in the fountain room with Dying Lament, so now our enemies will be worse. We're really just getting so much good usable stuff this run. Yeah, epic Athena vengeance before the sus and the bull. Our damage is so much better. Holy moly. I start hitting the sus first. He summons Artemis, but I just straight up don't care. The sus dies first this time, then the bull. Time for one last ride. Switch to the doggy collar, gotta get that more health, buy a Death Defy, and go for the palm door first. Good lord, these enemies do not stand a chance. The boss has a pot. Alexander, is that you? It might be, because we kill him really fast. Upgrade the waves. Money door next. Big snake stone boss. Oh, it died so fast. Wow. Ares gives us nothing. Aphrodite gives us different league. That's fine. The centaur heart is the one that gives us the fountain, but we're really not struggling here, so let's get everything else. Buy the palm, more damage against bosses. Athena's path gives us nothing. Glad we came in. Hammer rune. Sure, why not? It's money. Dire Misfortune from Ares was useless, so we just sell it to buy something better from Hermes, another speed boost. After we dash, and some damage resistance. Time for Hades with 3 Death Defies and a shitload of damage. So of course, he summons the shield Megamind enemies. They're my least favorite. That's not enough though. We kill the skulls next to him, so Aphrodite makes him weak. Oh, I forgot to mention, we have a thing where if a boss has 2 status effects on it, it takes 40% more damage. That's pretty big. Phase 2 starts, we still have 3 Death Defies, so hey, fuck it. Let's just keep dashing. Who cares if he hits us? We have so much health left. Turns out, we didn't need any of the Death Defies. We clear Hades without using one of them. And on run, 69. Nice. Poseidon has the best dash, for sure. Absolutely. Undisputed dashing champ. But if you know Hades, you know this isn't the end of the game, Hades. So while we beat Hades, the boss, we didn't beat Hades. If you want us to beat Hades, the game, share this video with some friends. If it's a big enough hit, we'll come back and make this happen with the other dashes and maybe get to the credits. Thanks for watching. Join us on Twitch to watch us stream a bunch of new games, but also mostly Elden Ring. Join my Patreon if you want to give us some financial support. It's the best place to do it. We get to keep the most of the money there. And also, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next game.